You're watching Stay-at-Home Cinema, brought to you by TIFF and Crave. Hello, everybody. My name is Cameron Bailey. I'm the artistic director and the co-head at TIFF. I want to thank you for joining us this evening. Tonight, we're watching Spider-Man Into the SpiderVerse, and we've got the star of the film coming up, Shameik Moore, who plays Miles Morales. We'll start watching Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 4:30 on the West Coast, and we'll live tweet as we watch. Across Canada, we're watching on Crave, so please join us there. If you are watching anywhere else in the world, track down this movie and join us, and we'll start at 7:30 Eastern. Shoutouts before we start. We always begin by acknowledging where we are on Indigenous land, so I want to give a big shout out to all Indigenous creators and their communities from coast to coast to coast. We also want to give a shout out to all levels of government, especially important now. Government of Canada, the province of Ontario, and the city of Toronto all give TIFF support. Thank you for that. And also shout out to all frontline workers who are working to keep us safe and healthy and fed. Big thanks also to our corporate partners, Bell, our lead sponsor, and our major sponsors, RBC, L'Oreal Paris, and Visa. And donors and members, people who are individually supporting what we do at TIFF. Thank you. If you're watching tonight, thank you especially. And special shout out tonight to Workman Arts, which is one of our community partners on our mental health outreach Make Well workshop series at TIFF. Workman Arts supports artists living with mental health and addiction issues through peer-to-peer arts education, public presentations, and partnerships with a broader arts community. Now, Spider-Man, we all know Spider-Man. He may be, I think, the world's most loved superhero, created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko back in 1962 in a Marvel comic. And then, of course, there was that TV show with the great theme song and the terrible animation. And then countless versions of Spider-Man throughout pop culture, and really countless versions is what Spider-Man is all about. So Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is really the ultimate Spider-Man movie. It's directed by Bob Persichetti, Peter Ramsey, and Rodney Rothman, and set in a series of alternate universes where there are many versions of the web-slinger, and one of them is Miles Morales, a Black Hispanic New York teenager. The animation in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is just mind-blowing. It won last year's Oscar for Best Animated Feature, and swept the Annie Awards for animation as well. The soundtrack is brilliant and includes Post Malone, Nicki Minaj, and a whole lot more. And the voice cast includes Chris Pine, Hailee Steinfeld, Mahershala Ali, Zoe Kravitz, Lily Tomlin, John Mulaney, and Nicolas Cage. The lead role, though, is played by Shameik Moore, who is the voice of Miles Morales. You might have noticed Shameik first in Rick Famuyiwa's independent film Dope. He was included on IndieWire's list of the 12 major breakouts of the 2015 Sundance Film Festival. He's worked with Tyler Perry. He's played a member of the Wu-Tang Clan, and he's one of the most exciting young actors working. Shameik Moore, welcome to Stay-at-Home Cinema.
Yeah, woo!
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I want to begin by asking you, how are you handling this lockdown?
As productively as possible.
So you're working?
I'm working. I actually released a single last week.
Because you're a musician as well. Not everybody would know that, because they might know you from this movie, but you're also a musician.
I am a musician. I'm showing everybody now. My first single dropped last week, so it's the beginning of the journey. So yeah, a cool little lyric video for everybody to learn the words. It's been cool. I've been reading a lot of books, and yeah, learning how to cook with my mom. It's been
nice.
Good. Yeah,
great. And are you sheltering in LA or Atlanta, or where are you these days?
Atlanta. I was born and raised in Atlanta, so
right. Okay, so I have to ask this. I was going to get to this later, but I know you've got Jamaican family. I have to ask, do you have family in Toronto?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Not that I know of. I did visit Toronto, and we filmed Let It Snow out there, so that was a great experience.
You might hear from some family now, though.
Yeah, quite likely. Yeah.
Listen, with this film, I read that you were filming Dope, actually, the film you made in 2015, and you wrote an affirmation back then in your journal saying, "I am Miles Morales. I am Spider-Man." Tell me about that.
So I was working on Dope, and first off, Pharrell told me and the two kids that played my best friend in the movie to read The Alchemist. So we got those books and we were doing that. But I was staying in LA on Kiersey's couch, who was also in the movie. She was playing my best friend in there. And we had another friend named Kofi, who's also an actor. He's doing his thing on different shows and whatnot. So we would wake up, work out, and like run in the morning. We're meditating, reading. And Kiersey got me the journal. So she went to Marshall's across the street and whatnot, got the journal and gave me one. It was like, you should start writing your thoughts. And I did. And one of the first few pages, I was like, I am Miles Morales, I'm Spider-Man. And we were working on the film Dope. And when we went to Sundance that first year, Chris and Phil were in the room the very first time we premiered the movie, and I got a standing ovation for like 5 minutes after the movie. And I was scared I didn't do well. When I saw the movie, I was like, did I do it? Did I not?
You see, film festivals can do that for you, right? They actually tell you how you've done.
So I was quite thankful for the opportunity, because that led to Spider-Man. They were there at that moment. So that's
you kind of willed this into being, in a way.
Yeah, that's what happened. We got the proof.
So you are working from this incredible script on SpiderVerse from Phil Lord and Rodney Rothman. What do you think it was that you brought to bring Miles Morales off the page and to life?
Well, when I wrote it down, I wasn't very specific. So I kind of learned that lesson. But I'm also very thankful, because this is the only Miles Morales movie to be made thus far. But I have been on screen on every other project. So with this, I was like, if I'm going to be the voice of Miles Morales, I'm going to make him as believable as possible. I'm going to put everything I can into making people say, whose voice is that? And that's really what the energy was for me. It's like, if you get lemons, make lemonade, so that's what the mentality was. And I had no idea that the animation was going to look that beautiful.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, that part is outside of me. The voice was what I wanted to bring. I was like, I'm going to do the best I can. And then they did the best that they could. So that's what, it kind of created Spider-Man.
Was this your first time voice acting as well?
On this scale, I've done little, commercials, for radio, and I played a small part in a Christmas movie. I played Santa's elf called Zart. This is a small role, 30-minute thing on CBS, but this was my first opportunity like this. This is the real deal.
We talked a little bit about the animation, and this movie is really famous for its look. 177 animators and their teams were working on it. Incredible, groundbreaking visuals in this movie. What do you have to do as the voice actor, as the performer in the lead role, to match what's going on visually in this movie?
Pay attention to the director. In anything you do, the directors are key. Like being an actor for me, and I learned that on Dope, you have producers and people behind the scenes that are very important in the creation of the movie, like getting the right DPs, the producers and the writers, and all those people are very important. The editors, but the director and the actor, that's portraying the vision and executing the vision, perform on screen. And so when the director says, we want more passion, Shameik, when you're really trying to, what do I do to know that I'm ready? Like, it's like, we didn't like, that wasn't quite as believable. We want you to do that again. Now I might do that same line 20 times and come back 6 times to do that line 20 more times. But we gonna get that line right. And that's what Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was. Really, my advice for actors would just be to just connect to the directors as much as possible. Yeah.
Okay. I know you worked, I think your first acting job with Tyler Perry on Tyler Perry's House of Pain.
Right.
What was it like to work with him? Was he directing? Was he? What was his role there? And how did you work together on that?
I guess he was directing, wasn't he? He was. It was on his set, which really inspired me. The first thing I noticed was that we were on Tyler Perry's studios. We're here, which was like, I knew my mind might have been a little because I was like, I want Shameik Moore Studios at the time. Now it won't be called that because now there's another company name in mind. But I was just in my mind. I was like thinking his name, and then he has these fake houses and these sets created and whatnot. It was kind of, and I was young. It's not the same. I haven't even been to the location he's created now in Atlanta yet. But when I was working with him, there was nothing going on in Atlanta for actors. Now there's, Marvel and so many, productions going on. So anyway, what that was like, that was inspirational for me because for one, Tyler Perry's Black. For two, I'm 12 years old and I'm getting my first check for like, $1,000 or something. And I was like, I'm 12 years old.
For 12-year-old.
It's like, oh goodness. And my first audition, and I booked it. I was just running around saying hi to everybody, like trying to, like, seriously, that's what I was doing. I was like, hey, just to the DPs. I don't even know what the DPs. What is your job? I don't know. You're just behind the camera. I just, I'm just saying hi to everybody. But with Tyler, something that really carried on too, with that. Because I was there and I was working with this kid, Doc Shaw, who was on Disney Channel. And at the time, every kid was watching Disney Channel. So I was like, a little shy around him or whatever. I was happy. I was like, oh, yo, I'm Shameik. I wanted to take photos with him. So there's a moment where I'm supposed to get slammed on the table. That's what happened. Because I'm so used to slamming people now or something. So I'm getting slammed on the table. And he didn't want to slam me, and then I wasn't feeling, I was like, this is what it was. But then Tyler came out there, he's like, no, that's not how you do it. He literally picks me up from my shirt.
Tyler Perry picked you up.
Slams me on the table. And so my mom jumped up. I remember looking to the right because he didn't pretend, he did it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference. It reads totally different on camera, and when I saw that, felt that, caught that, and then saw the execution of it, I was like, I see. I learned. I paid attention, and I took that with me. So in these roles, like when I'm finding different characters in Wu-Tang or in The Get Down or in Dope, I'm like, anything on camera, let us know. It's like, what is that part of Shameik? You know what I mean? Because when I need to get into my New York, you know what I mean? Like, I gotta get into that. I'm not pretending. Like, if I'm getting upset, I'm getting upset. If I'm happy and I'm in love, I'm happy and I'm in love. That's what it's got to be.
Okay. We've got some questions from some members. Let me go first to Nomanfelo Malloy. What was your favorite scene to record in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? And did you have the chance to record voiceover with any of your castmates?
It was a long process, recording, but I enjoyed every moment, every step of the way. Everybody took care of me really well. They know I love ginger ale, so it's an ongoing joke on set. Ginger ale and text it to me. And grapes and oranges, like they found out what I liked, and they made sure it was there for me. And the sessions were like 4 to 6 hours. We would do 2 or 3 of them a month, and we were just working for about, it feels like 2 years, and so that was an amazing process. As far as who I was in the booth with, it was Jake Johnson, who I feel like is a legend. He killed Peter B. Parker. I loved his performance as Peter B. Parker. He makes me laugh so much, and doing press with him was like, that was probably my most, like, I enjoy press runs with everybody, but the one with him was so just like, wow, like this guy is a vet, and he's a great dude. Seriously, I've yet to have that type of fun with anybody else. So yeah.
I've got another member question from Lily Sider, who asks, what part of Miles's character do you connect with the most?
It's funny. Like, Miles got bitten by that spider. Out of all the kids in Brooklyn, you know what I mean? He got bitten by that spider. He was chosen. There was thousands of people to audition for Spider-Man, like The Voice. They listened to me first, but they came back after listening to everybody to the first
You
one.
were chosen too.
I was bitten too. I was chosen too, know? So I connect with that for sure.
All right. There is an Into the Spider-Verse 2 planned for 2022. I know you can't say much. I'm sure you had to sign all kinds of things, but can you say how you're feeling about picking up the Miles Morales character again?
Oh, I feel wonderful, especially during this time. Who knows? Like there's, how do I say this? There's a lot of actors that might be a little worried right now. With productions being on hold and whatnot. And we've always been smart with investments, but now I was never worried right now in this moment, because we have been saving. I don't spend like a rapper, but my I've been reading and tapping into self. I don't want to go too deep, but like, faith over fear, it's a leap of faith. Anyone can wear the mask. Anybody can tap in, bringing it back to that message. It's all the same thing in my mind. But playing Miles Morales, like there are kids all over the globe that'll watch this movie and learn something and quote lines that they don't even realize subconsciously will, affect them and change it. Like, they're like mantras. They're like things that you say over and over to yourself that will change things in your life, like that you see. It's like manifestation. And so what it feels like is it is a blessing, because they could go and choose another voice and do whatever they want. Spider-Man is a huge franchise. They don't need Shameik Moore. They're choosing to support me, and I did the very best I could, and they're choosing to allow me to stay and
doing an incredible job with the movie. Me, my whole family, my son is 11 years old, watched the movie, loved it as well, and the soundtrack too.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to press play on Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. on the West Coast. We're going to be live tweeting using the hashtag TIFF@home. And tonight, one of our official event partners, the annual Black Ball, is going to be tweeting along with us. It's founded by two of TIFF's rising stars, Stefan James and Shamir Anderson, great friends of TIFF. So they're at annual Black Ball. They're going to be tweeting along. We're going to watch Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse right now. Shameik, thank you so much for joining us, and congratulations on the work of this movie.
Thank you. I'm excited.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Peace.